know, most people have like family photos in their office. I am such a nerd that I have my favorite publications in here. That's the nematode, the C. elegans Genome Project, and actually up above there is a whole mess of genome sequence, and that's actually from a clone called F43D9, and it was the first clone that I sequenced as part of the nematode project.
Wow.
And it took me 6 months to sequence it. Moving on to the Human Genome Project, you know, this particular project I love because I worked on it on both sides of the Atlantic at 2 different institutions, so I got to see both sides of the game. I started working on the Human Genome Project at the Sanger Center, focused on the chromosome 1 part of the genome, and then when I came to the Whitehead, and then the Broad, I was working more on kind of like trying to figure out how to close some of the gaps in the genome, so I kind of started it and got involved in finishing it at the same time. And then, so then we moved on to the mouse. The mouse genome is incredibly important because a mouse is always used as a model organism in research, especially in cancer. We have a lot of mouse work going on here at the Koch, so it was a no-brainer to sequence the mouse. And then the dog genome is actually one of my favorite genomes, and there's lots more here, but these are my 4 favorite children. The Dog Genome Project, the reason why we did the dog genome is not because we all like dogs and they really are our best friends. Dogs are actually really good model organisms for very specific types of diseases. So we share a lot of commonalities between particular types of cancer between humans and dogs. I'm Jane Wilkinson. I'm the Executive Director for the Koch Institute here at MIT.
Jane was very important in the annotation of chromosome 1.
And then I actually ended up being employee 36 at the Sanger Center in the UK, which was actually one of the first teams to lead the Human Genome Project.
I think Jane's work was runner number 1, and now we are like at runner number 2, having received the baton.
And help facilitate collaboration and really move science forward.
So I actually was pretty sick for 2 years. In 2012 I had something called, they didn't really have a diagnosis, they just called it an immune crisis. And you know, one of the things that I saw as a common thread throughout all of this was just how important a healthy cardiovascular system and cardio exercise was. For me, I love being outside. I think that's really the big thing. There's just something very human about it. There's a real human connection. Boston as a BQ is pretty much the ultimate goal of running, because it always started out as like, I'm never going to qualify, never going to qualify. I'm not even close, like this isn't even possible. And now here I am a couple of years later, this close, I'm this close, and it's now actually in reach. I love the Boston Marathon, the vibe, the energy, you know, everything. The city just goes running crazy for a whole weekend, and it's just amazing, and I want a part of that. I want in on that.